This is my fourth attempt. It may be my fifth attempt at recording this video. I thought I would do a tutorial video, which this is something new for me, something I have not done before, and I wanted to share some things with you. I've been planning my trips for this fall to do landscape photography and some wildlife photography, and I was working through the settings on my Nikon Z8. And I thought it would be helpful to kind of go over a few of those settings that I have tweaked on the camera. And we're going to start out by doing just this video on the iMenu and how I customize the iMenu for my landscape photography. Now, I'm the kind of guy that likes to write it down, okay? I work better that way. So what I've done is I developed a little sheet of paper that you can print out, and it's an Excel spreadsheet. I will include the Google Drive link in the description of this video so you can download the sheet and use it for your own purposes to fill out. The iMenu on the Nikon Z8 and every other Nikon mirrorless camera that has the iMenu built into it, there are two rows of boxes that you can customize and put things in there that are little shortcuts. Let's just call them shortcuts. And there's two rows of 6, so there's 12 total boxes in there. So I developed this spreadsheet to kind of help us along. Let me show that to you right now. So here I have the spreadsheet up on the screen, and like I said, I'll provide a Google Drive link to this for you. And what I'm going to do is show you real quick. Here is my sheet that I have filled out. I don't know if you can read that or not, for my landscape settings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this spreadsheet for my purposes. You might change it and have different settings in there, but this is what I find very useful for landscape photography. So we're going to start in the first box on the top row, and that is going to be my white balance. And you can print this out and keep it. Next thing will be focus peaking. Oops, let me get typing here. And then we got the shooting menu bank. This Z8 uses banks and not user settings. Custom menu bank. And then auto bracketing. And AF mode / subject detection. And then back over to the first box on the bottom row, we will put metering and then vibration reduction. I like to use turn off vibration reduction when doing landscape photography. So especially when I'm mounted to a tripod. The next box, the third box over on the bottom, is your custom controls menu setting. And then we have exposure, delay mode, release mode, and the focus mode. This is how I set up my iMenu for landscape shooting. We're just talking about landscape shooting today. We're not talking about wildlife or astro or anything else. On my Nikon Z8, on my menu banks, I named my menu bank C for landscape photography. I reserved my menu bank B for wildlife photography. Well, we're not talking about wildlife settings today. We're talking about landscape settings. So we're going to be using the menu bank C and the custom menu bank C to do landscape photography with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my Nikon Z8 to the computer so I can show you how to customize the iMenu for your shooting style. I have, let me move that over just a little bit. I have attached the Nikon Z8 to the computer, and you can see it right over there. I got to remember to point the other way. You can see it right there. And I've got the lens cap on so you don't get distracted by any extra light. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to show you what my iMenu setting is now. And we have my eye setting the iMenu setting for my landscape photography. And I know I'm in landscape photography mode because I can check right here at my shooting bank and see that it is in landscape. And the custom settings bank is also in landscape. Now, I filled out that spreadsheet and showed you what I do, and this menu is set up exactly like that. If you look at the first box, this is my white balance. This is my peaking for manual focus help, my shooting menu bank, my custom settings bank, my bracketing, which is turned off currently, and then my auto area mode and subject detection, my focus mode, my release mode, delay is turned off, and vibration reduction is currently turned off, and this is my metering. This is how I set up my camera for landscape photography. Now, there's a little bit of logic behind this, and I want to kind of explain that a minute. Let's go to the right hand side of this menu. So when I'm going to release this and turn this menu off for a second. When I'm shooting and I want to make a change to my camera and I know that it's in my iMenu settings, it'll save me from having to go through the camera menu settings and trying to find the setting you want to change, especially if you use something frequently. So what you want to do is you want to put frequently changed items into your iMenu. That way you're not wasting time going over to your main menu on your camera trying to find things. And we know how difficult it can be to find something in those menus. So let me show you the iMenu one more time, and let's just talk about this setup for a second. On the right hand side, and that would be these four boxes right here, I have my most frequently used items for landscape photography. Bracketing is one of them. My release mode, I will modify that when I'm bracketing, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. My area mode, well, most of the time doing landscape photography will be on single point like it is now. And then my focus mode, I like to use AFS when I'm focusing for landscapes, but some people use AFC. You know, it's whatever preference you prefer to do. But the important thing is this box is assigned to focusing mode. Okay. Now let's talk about bracketing for a second. I do bracket quite a few of my landscape photographs, and I'm going to show you how to do that using the iMenu. So the first thing you want to do is you want to pull up the iMenu and get ready to do bracketing, and you go to the bracketing setting that I have turned off at the current moment, and you hit the OK button. Now we're going to do AE, not AE flash. Okay, we're going to do AE, which is auto exposure bracketing. We're going to do 3 shots. This one here is going to be 3 shots at 2 stop increments. That's usually how I do this. You can go 5 shots on 2 stops, and if you're doing 1 stop, you can go all the way up to 9 stops of bracketing. I don't normally do that. I find that 3 stops is plenty and enough dynamic range at a 2 stop increment. Okay, should get you what you need. So once you set up the bracketing and you hit the OK button, you'll notice now that bracketing is turned on. Now, normally you have to, like for this particular instance here, I have it set up to take 3 photographs. Well, we don't want to hit the shutter button 3 times, okay? It's going to introduce camera shake and everything else into the equation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my self timer to take the 3 photographs, the required 3 photographs to get this bracketed series. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go down to release mode and hit the OK button. We're going to go all the way over to the right to where the timer, the self timer is. We're going to hit the down arrow. Now I have my timer set up for 5 seconds, and it's just a habit. You can do it for 2 seconds or 10 seconds, however long you want to wait. And I also have my self timer set up to take 3 shots. Okay, so what that means is when I push the shutter button, it's going to take 3 photographs that are bracketed because we have the bracketing turned on. Let me show you that right now. We're going to hit the OK button, and I'm going to just do a half press on the shutter, and now we are ready to take some photographs. I'm going to go ahead and hit the shutter button and you'll see what I mean. It's going to take 3 photographs. There's 1, there's 2, and there's number 3. So it just finished the 3 photographs for you automatically. This is fantastic, okay? This will save you a lot of time. Now, there's a caveat. You have to remember something. Whatever you change on the iMenu for this user bank C, okay, or shooting bank C, it's going to remember that. So if you turn the camera off and turn the camera back on, it's still going to be on bracketing and the timer's still going to be set. Let me show you that real quick. I'm going to turn the camera off and we'll let that turn off just for a few seconds here, and we'll turn it back on and I'll show you what I mean. In the past, a long time ago, Nikon didn't save your self-timer setting. It would revert back to single. And I think they said the reason why they did that a long time ago was so you wouldn't make the mistake that I'm talking about right now, that you could make by not remembering that you had bracketing still turned on. So yeah, they have changed that. I've noticed in the Z8 it has changed. I'm not sure about, I'm sure the Z9 has it. I'm not sure about the other bodies, the other pro type bodies that are out there, but you'll have to check and see if your camera bodies that use user 1, your user settings they call them, it'd be user 1, user 2, user 3, if it does that, if it keeps that setting. I don't know if it does or not. We're going to turn the camera back on. We're going to go into the iMenu, and there you go. It has remembered those settings. So when you're finished doing bracketed shots, you need to remember to turn this stuff off. And you have to go right back through here and do the same thing. Change the number of shots to 0 for auto exposure bracketing, and take your self timer back to single shot, okay? Just remember to do that, or you'll be taking 3 more photographs bracketed when you're not expecting to. Now, for landscape photography, I want to cover the left side of the iMenu and how I have it set up. And these are just what I call logical considerations. So on this first box here, I have white balance. Now, I don't change my white balance too much, all right? And I usually leave it on cloudy, or I may pick a white balance like A1, let's say, which is automatic white balance, overall atmosphere. You could do that if you wanted to. Metering for landscape photography, I'm usually on matrix metering all the time. I will turn off vibration reduction when I am on a tripod. And the peaking, I will turn that on when needed if I'm going to do a manual focus landscape type of shot. So you can see I have these items kind of like logically placed on the screen. Now you may choose to do something else. I'm going to change my white balance back to cloudy, because remember what I said, it's going to remember your setting on here. You know, you may choose to have your iMenu set up differently, but I encourage you to take the time, think it through how you shoot, the type of shooting style you got, and come in and set up your iMenu to help you get through things quicker. Now, let me explain something to you. The Z8 and the Z9 and some other pro bodies have what we call shooting banks. They're not user settings, they're shooting banks. They act a lot differently. The cameras have 4, A, B, C, and D. I'm using C right now. What I suggest you do is you set up your iMenu according to the type of shooting you'll be doing, but maybe keeping in I don't even know the word I'm trying to use. Keeping in style with what we just worked with on the landscape stuff. You know, the wildlife settings might be the same. You might use the same iMenu settings, and you might have, you know, like for example, let's go over to the wildlife, the action settings, and have a look at that. And your shutter release, instead of being single shot mode, you may choose to go with continuous high, which is 10 shots per second, 10 frames per second. You probably won't use bracketing, okay, so you could assign something else to that for wildlife. You definitely will use the auto area mode, and AFC is what the wildlife is set for. So there might be some things on here. I would say vibration reduction would be on. There might be some things in here that you would not use that you could replace something else with. So for example, in the wildlife setting, that's what we're in now, shooting bank B. I told you I wasn't going to do this, but I'm in here. I may choose to change the auto bracketing and put something else there. So let's go over to the menu, go down to the pencil icon, and go down to controls and customize the iMenu. So let's see, for shooting bank B, instead of having bracketing, let's see if there's something else we can maybe use that we might like. How about ISO sensitivity settings? That would be nice to have, wouldn't it? Let's go ahead and assign that to the iMenu for shooting bank B. Okay, it's done, so all we got to do is hit the menu button to finish, hit the menu again, and now we're in shooting bank B, and you'll notice right here that the ISO is now appearing where bracketing used to appear. So you can see that each shooting bank has its own settings. In addition to that, so does each shooting mode, and what I mean by that is photos and videos have their own separate menu shooting banks. They each have 4, so when you're in video, you would also set up the iMenu for your video and make sure you put the video settings you need in the iMenu. Anyways, that is my my take on setting up your Nikon Z8 for landscape photography, and I hope you got some use out of that. Pay attention to your iMenu, go in and customize it for your shooting methods, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up on the video. My name is Ron Durant. I am a photographer. I do live in East Tennessee, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.